And you've like over the years you've worked on some like major films and TV programs and with artists as well. I mean, when you got those gigs, how did that work out? Did you have an agent yourself, or was it through a contact of yours, or did you apply for the position? How did you get those?
Just picked up the phone. Just picked up the phone. That's the problem with trying to plot a career path on this. I mean, there's so much luck involved as well.
Of course.
After you've got the skills, and it sort of comes back to your earlier question, in as much as I couldn't tell somebody who is, sort of 21 years old how to do it now, because the fact is that it's totally different. Like the decisions that I made would not be the correct decisions now. In fact, I didn't really make any decisions. I just picked up the phone.
There we go.
It's difficult to get. I get asked that question quite a lot. It's difficult advice to give, because literally you just pick up the phone and what happens is you're like, I'm in my first TV gig. Not the first like live TV house band, or maybe it wasn't the first, but one of the first. I decked for John Paricelli on a rehearsal. John Paricelli's great studio guitar player. He has been a studio. He's done a lot of stuff. I decked for him in a rehearsal for Dave Arch, who's the Strictly Come Dancing MD, and I did the rehearsal okay, and I guess he sort of was okay with my guitar playing. So then I ended up doing a show, and then I did another one for another MD because I'd done that, and it just sort of snowballed. So there wasn't a career path; it was just a series of lucky events. And when you get the lucky event, the important thing is to have the level of skill there and the level of confidence to do your job.
Definitely, because you've been in some fantastic things like The Voice, Pop Idol, American Idol, Royal Variety, House Orchestra. I mean, you've done some amazing stuff. I mean, being part of a house band, like for instance, for The Voice, what kind of things how much work is involved, like for instance, rehearsals to how quick you got to turn over the tracks? I mean, how much work actually goes into it per episode?
A lot, but the work goes in when you're younger. That's where the work goes in. I mean, something like The Voice band, for example, I mean, I was in a function band in my 20s. Yeah. It's perfect preparation for something like, because that's essentially what it is. We read the music. I did the first 3 series basically when it was BBC, and then it's moved to ITV, and it's a separate set of people now. And when I started out, it was Steve Sidwell was the MD, who I believe you've interviewed.
Yep.
Hello, Steve.
Hello, Steve.
And so Steve is a super pro. So we get the chart. Yeah. We'd have the iPad. We'd read it. We'd listen to the original, look at the chart, play it once or twice, move on. That was it. So we did like 50 songs in a day. We just plowed through it,
Wow.
You mark up your charts. You write. What? Sorry, I'm pointing at guitar.
That's okay. Do you think
I'm just pointing so you'd sort of I'd write which distortion pedal I was using, which delay. I'd write my settings in the chart. We used Fourscore, a program called Fourscore, and it was all linked up to Dropbox. It's quite a common way of doing things. And then when you come back to the chart, when you had to play it, when you had to play it on the TV, you'd made good enough notes that you know exactly what to do. So everything has to be bulletproof, basically, if you're not going to play it very many times. So the clicks in, so 2-bar click or whatever it is, or 3/4 or whatever.
Yeah.
What pedals I'm using, what guitar I'm using, I'd mark in what pickup I'm using. Any hints that I need, it's got to be like a bulletproof chart, basically, because if you only played it once or twice and then there's a 2-day gap during which you've played another 200 songs or something, you're not going to remember it. That's not going to happen. So, well, I'm not anyway. So you have to have a bulletproof chart in front of you, because if someone's pointing a TV camera at you, it doesn't get easier. It gets it's hard.
Yeah, of course.
Even if you've got to play an E minor chord on live TV, it's still hard.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, were you doing things recordings every day, or did you go and say a couple of days a week to do, say, a couple of 100 songs and then record and then leave, or how did it all work? From my memory,
just a few years ago now, but so I think what we do is have a couple of days rehearsal, then which was just a band, and then maybe a day sort of camera rehearsal in the TV studio, and then we record it. That was pretty much. Also depended what stage of the series we were at. Like the I'm trying to think, because it's a few years ago now when I did it. like the blind auditions where we'd have like 2 weeks of rehearsals and then record everything together.
Okay.
But the live shows, I don't know even know if it's still the same format anymore. I don't watch it, but the live shows, we'd have tech rehearsals, and then the show all within 1 week.
Okay.
So it depends what stage of the competition you're at. You know?
And was that a similar sort of format for everything else that you worked on? Were they all completely different? I know all obviously different programs, obviously, but were there kind of similar formats for other things as well? Were they completely different?
I mean, say if you take a house band for a TV show, usually you'll have a band rehearsal where it's just about the music. You'll mark up the charts. What guitars am I using? You know, where's my gear? What kind of you know, if I need to sort out a pedal board for that gig or something, you know, what amp am I using? Are we using DI? So I get all the logistics and the musical stuff sorted out, and then you'd have, like, they might call it a stagger through. I think the TV people call it stagger through. Like, you go through the show slowly for and the lighting and the camera and everything gets sort of plotted out, and then you record the show. You know, there's a big difference between recording, like they'll call it an RX. RX is like a pre-record, or I think it's TX. I can't remember all the stuff now, but which is like a transmission. Which is live. So live TV is it's like adrenaline city, and I love it. That's my favorite thing, is adrenaline. I'm addicted to my own adrenaline, basically. So live TV is perfect.
That's brilliant.
Recording could be a bit,
you
know, like it just goes on, because if they screw something up, they can do it again, you know, and it's a bit of a drag. I think a lot of the time, if you have an audience in a pre-recorded TV show, they're a bit disillusioned because they're like, why is it midnight and I'm still here? This is really boring.